In every generation, there is a kind of success that follows a familiar path: education, structure, approval, order. And then there is another kind: messy, loud, uncomfortable, unconventional. Carter Efe belongs to the second kind. Born in 2001, Carter Efe came into the world at a time when the future was uncertain, but possibility was quietly expanding. Nigeria was changing, technology was creeping into daily life, phones were becoming cameras, screens were becoming stages, but none of that guaranteed success. It only created opportunity, and opportunity still required courage. As a child, Carter was expressive. He felt deeply and showed it openly. He laughed loudly, spoke boldly, and rarely blended into the background. Where others tried to fit in, Carter stood out. Sometimes intentionally, sometimes simply by being himself. He did not grow up with a clear blueprint for fame or fortune. What he had instead was energy. Raw, restless, unfiltered energy. And for a long time, that energy had nowhere to go. In school and among friends, he was known as the dramatic one, the entertainer, the boy who could turn an ordinary moment into something memorable. Making people laugh came naturally to him, not as a strategy, but as an instinct. Comedy was not something he studied, it was something he lived. As Carter grew older, social media quietly transformed the rules of success. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok removed the gatekeepers. You no longer needed permission to be seen. You only needed the nerve to show up. Carter showed up. His early skits were rough around the edges, the sound was sometimes poor, the acting exaggerated, the humor chaotic. But there was honesty in it. He was not pretending to be someone else. He was amplifying who he already was. At first, the response was modest. Some people laughed, some scrolled past, some mocked him.
You dey talk say basically people they talk anyhow, but you go they talk say you dey talk say when before you make 7 skits, I've make the money in the night. What then you dey do for night? You be thief? You be armed robber? You be armed robber? You be armed robber? Or now just they look skit makers restless. We comedian restless. Or now they look us down.
But Carter did not retreat. Instead, he doubled down. He posted more. He became louder, more expressive, less apologetic. What many people misunderstood was that Carter Efe was not chasing validation. He was chasing connection. He understood something deeply human. People are drawn to emotion. And emotion does not always arrive neatly packaged. Sometimes it arrives loud, awkward, and uncomfortable. Over time, the attention grew. Then came the shift.
Guys, I want you guys to give me idea. Let's talk together. You understand? Let's talk together. Like, what kind of stream do you want to see? What kind of stream do you want to see? What kind of stream? Tell me, let's talk.
Carter moved into live streaming, a space where there is no script, no safety net, and no editing room to hide mistakes. Live streaming demands presence. It exposes fear, fatigue, insecurity, and truth, all in real time. For many creators, this is where things fall apart. For Carter Efe, this is where everything came alive. On live streams, he was fully himself, unfiltered, unpredictable, emotional, sometimes joyful, sometimes chaotic, sometimes controversial. He laughed without restraint, shouted without warning, reacted without calculation. Viewers did not just watch Carter, they experienced him. His streams felt like sitting in a room with someone who refused to perform politeness, someone who allowed emotions to spill freely, someone who mirrored the chaos of real life, especially the kind familiar to many young Africans navigating pressure, uncertainty, and ambition. One of the most talked about elements of Carter's live streams was his unpredictable interaction with guests. Moments of sudden outbursts, impulsive actions, and playful but shocking behavior circulated widely. Clips traveled faster than explanations. Reactions poured in from every corner of social media. Critics questioned his methods. Supporters defended his authenticity.
Chat, no, I kid you not, chat. You know why I liking him? I like watching him so much. Why I like watching him? Chat, he makes Nigeria look so fucking fun, chat.
But Carter did not stop. He understood that the internet does not reward caution, it rewards presence. And presence requires showing up again and again, regardless of applause or backlash. Night after night, he went live. When others rested, Carter streamed. When others hesitated, Carter leaned in. When others worried about image, Carter prioritized impact.
All of you are going to suppress how they lean. Una never know. I go live past like this. I swear to God, I go live past like this. In case una don't know, I go live past like this because I never do 84-hour stream before I be. Not worry, we go do 2 months, no offing.
Slowly, the numbers began to tell a story. Thousands joined his lives. Clips went viral within minutes. His name became part of everyday online conversations. Carter Efe was no longer just a skit maker or a streamer. He had become a force. Then came a moment that shifted perception forever. One day, during one of his live streams, Davido, one of Africa's biggest music icons, appeared. It was unexpected, unsponsored, unscripted. For many watching, it felt surreal. Here was Carter Efe, the loud, controversial, unconventional streamer, sharing a live digital space with one of the continent's most celebrated artists. It was more than a cameo, it was a moment of validation that could not be manufactured. Davido's presence sent a message without words. This mattered. The internet reacted instantly, clips spread rapidly, conversations changed tone. People who once dismissed Carter began to look again, not because he had changed, but because success had finally caught up with his persistence.
And congratulations to Carter, Baba. I watched the live stream. No, I really enjoyed the live stream, bro. I just did laugh. Hard work, they pay. Consistency.
What do you mean by that?
Consistency.
That moment symbolized something powerful. It proved that there is no single way to win. Carter did not refine himself to fit elite spaces. Elite spaces came to him. As his influence expanded, Carter Efe began to represent a new archetype of African success, one rooted not in polish, but in truth. He showed that being yourself loudly can be just as powerful as being perfect quietly. Yet the journey was not without cost. With visibility came scrutiny, with fame came pressure. Every action was analysed, every mistake magnified. Carter carried the weight of being constantly watched, constantly judged, constantly expected to deliver.
Carter Efe, who is the biggest streamer in Africa with over 420 followers on Twitch, his account has been suspended.
Hey guys, I'm just now waking up to see that Carter Efe's Twitch account has been temporarily suspended.
DJ Tunes, they are happy. Say Twitch don't collapse. And DJ Tunes open mouth, say Twitch don't collapse. Twitch will never collapse by the grace of God. Amen.
Still, he returned to the screen, again and again and again. What kept him going was not just ambition, it was belief. Belief that consistency compounds, belief that showing up matters, belief that authenticity, even when misunderstood, eventually finds its audience.
This is what I look every day. Every day, whenever I wake up, show up every day. It can happen at any time. Consistency, Twitch. So whenever I wake up, I see this stuff. Even though I'm tired, I will just still go live. You understand? There's nothing that can stop anything. Nothing for this life.
By the time discussions began around Africa's #1 streamer, Carter Efe's name stood tall among them. Not because he was the most technically refined, but because he was the most relentlessly present. He did not build a career by fitting into expectations. He built it by redefining them. From a young boy with a phone and an uncontrollable laugh to a cultural figure commanding thousands of eyes in real time, Carter Efe's journey is a reminder that greatness does not always whisper. Sometimes it screams, sometimes it disrupts, sometimes it makes people uncomfortable. But in its own way, it inspires. Carter Efe's story is not just about streaming, it is about faith in one's natural self. It is about choosing consistency over comfort. It is about understanding that the path meant for you may look nothing like the paths that came before. And in a world that often demands conformity, Carter Efe stands as proof that there is power in being unapologetically different. Because in the end, he did not just make people laugh, he made them look, he made them listen, and eventually, he made them believe. If you want more videos like this, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.